Alright, so before this video starts, I just wanted to put a little quick disclaimer at the start for anybody who's watching this that might not be a Toronto Raptors fan. I just wanted to let you know that this isn't primarily going to be a Toronto Raptors content-centered YouTube channel. I just am mostly on here posting whatever I think of making, and if you guys have any ideas about any content I could make on other teams or about the NBA in general, just let me know, and I'd love to hear your feedback, so enjoy. Hello, in this video, I'm going to be talking about who I think the Raptors should take at every draft position heading into the draft lottery. The draft lottery is going to be the upcoming Monday. I'm currently recording this the Thursday before, so I don't actually know who the Raptors are going to get. I don't know what pick they're going to get yet, but yeah, I figured I would just come on here and give my thoughts. This was actually recommended by somebody in the comments of my last video, so thank you very much to the person who commented. I really appreciate it, and without further ado, let's just get started. Alright, so real quick, I do just want to preface a few things. The Toronto Raptors this year, because they got the 7th best odds, are able to fall either in the 1 through 4 range or the 7 through 10 range. So the Raptors are actually not able to get the 5th or 6th pick, so I just obviously won't be including those in this video. But my metrics for who I decided to pick at every spot was just a mix on need and what the Raptors currently don't have, and then also talent, because I don't think the Raptors are necessarily in a position where they should be taking fit over somebody who clearly has more talent. So, yep, now that that is settled, we can go ahead and get started with the first overall pick. Alright, so should the Raptors get the first overall pick, I don't think a whole lot needs to be debated. We're obviously going to be picking Cooper Flagg here. He's undeniably the best player from this class. He provides so much on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. I said a lot of this in my last video when I kind of talked about him. But I think for this Raptors team more specifically, he can probably do a really good job anchoring defense off of the bench in his rookie year. I really don't know if they're going to be planning on starting him, just because the starting lineup is a little bit clogged right now between guys like Scotty, BI, RJ, and IQ. Just figuring out where those four are going to be, who's going to be sent to the bench. If Cooper were to start, it's a little bit confusing. So I think where he would be the best in his rookie season is probably going to be off of the bench for a lot of the year, but maybe they would see if they could get him in there at either small forward or maybe power forward in his in a starting position. We just kind of have to see, but I do think that if the Raptors are to draft somebody like Flagg, that gives them their franchise player down the line. Not that I don't think Scotty Barnes is that. I absolutely love Scotty Barnes, but I don't necessarily always know if he's the player that some people make him out to be. Not that he's not an amazing player. And I just think that long-term Cooper Flagg is a little bit more of a star, I'd say. So, yeah, Cooper Flagg here at number 1. Alrighty, moving on to number 2, we have got Dylan Harper. This one should also probably not come as a surprise to anybody listening. I think he's clearly the best point guard in this class, and honestly, I'd say he's closer to Cooper Flagg in terms of skill than he is to the 3rd pick in terms of like how impactful he can be as a player someday. So yeah, I think that he's a no-brainer number 2 pick here. He is a player with amazing rim pressure, which is something that the Raptors definitely could stand to use, especially for a guard. He has, insane rim pressure downhill with potential 3-level scoring upside down the road. I mean, right now his through ball isn't too bad. I think it will take some years for that to come around and really hit its peak. And the mid-range is questionable. He's shown flashes, but It's definitely not there yet, but I think it definitely could be, knowing the type of player and the type of improvements he makes year after year. So, pardon me on that, but I'm also not super high on Emmanuel Quickly as a long-term point guard of the future for this team. So having Dylan Harper there, even if he's coming off the bench in his first year, which he very well could, I think he's just the very clear franchise guard going down the road if we were to pick him at number 2. So, yeah. Alrighty, so moving on to number 3, and here is where things get a little bit interesting. I have VJ Edgecombe here for number 3 if the Raptors do pick 3rd overall. If anybody watched my last video, they'll know that the Raptors actually picked there in the mock draft in the simulation that I did, and I had them taking Edgecombe here, and I'm going to continue to stand by that, just because between him and Bailey, really the bottom line is I just think that Edgecombe specifically fits this Raptors team better than someone like Bailey does. And I think that the difference in skill between them is less than what a lot of people seem to think. So I think that taking a player with a slightly lower ceiling but a much higher floor, in my opinion, is just going to be the better move for the Raptors. But moving on to what he actually brings to this team, if they were to pick him, he is obviously an explosive athlete, by far the best athlete of this class, with also a very solid 3-ball. He's currently shooting, I believe it was 35% from 3 on the year in college with his time in Baylor. So, yeah, I mean, he provides rim pressure, he provides 3-point shooting, and he also has some very solid defense. Obviously, there's room for improvement, but he is a very good defender. I don't have the stats up right now, but I know that his block and steal totals were very good for the season. So, yeah, I think that this pick, especially Edgecombe, I think that he could provide a lot more for this Raptors team going into next season specifically than a lot of other players could, just because the Raptors are definitely heading towards the playoffs, or looking to be in the playoffs at least next year. And so having a player like Edgecombe, who is going to be a little bit less of a project, I feel like would be a safer pick here at number 3 over Bailey. All right, so moving on to number 4, and we have got Jeremiah Fears. Now, I already know this is about to garner a lot of discourse from some people, because almost nobody has him mocked this high, quite this high, and I also have him over Bailey. Let me just say that I am not a Bailey hater by any means. I am a little bit lower on him in general than some, but I'm not a hater. I think he is a very good prospect and has a lot of potential. However, I think Bailey's limited skill set is something that the Raptors already have from various players, and the same can't really be said about Jeremiah Fears. In general, the Raptors have never really had a guard quite like him. He's a very modern play-styled guard, very fast-paced, which is good for a Raptors team that actually finished top 10 in pace last season. So his very crafty scoring is obviously going to take some years to develop, but I think paired next to guys like B.I., Scotty, or even Emmanuel Quickly, if you were to move him to the 2 spot and kind of let him focus more on shooting and being a threat from the outside rather on having to deal with such a heavy playmaking load as he does being the lead guard, which I don't think is really where he can reach his potential. If Jeremiah Fears can become a starting point guard one day for this team, then I think that it really would just be great. Like, I don't know how else to word it. I think that he has a lot of start upside. He has very clear flaws right now, do not get me wrong. A lot of very clear flaws, especially with shooting. However, he has shown a lot of promise with his form as well as his free throw percentage, which is hovering, last time I checked, I think it was around like 86% or something like that from the line. So, yeah, he does show promise with being able to develop that shot down the road, and I trust this Raptors team a lot to be able to develop that. So, as much as it might upset some people, I do have Jeremiah Fears here at number 4. All right, so since we are unable to get the 5th or 6th pick in the draft, we are moving on to number 7. And here I feel like the answer is pretty obvious if he's still on the board, and that is going to be Kamon Maluach. This dude has been mocked over and over and over again to Toronto, and doesn't matter what spot they get, anybody just uses him as a cop-out. And, I mean, it is a great fit. It's a good fit, but I can't lie, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine when every single mock draft I see just has them taking Kamon, because realistically, there's so many other things this team needs that just feels like a cop-out to me. But he is a great prospect, and he is a great player, and I do want him on the Raptors. Do not get me wrong. I have a lot of trust in his offensive game. Right now, he's limited to basically just being a lob threat and kind of sitting in the dunker spot. But I've seen him, obviously doesn't mean a whole lot, but I've seen him shoot a few threes that look pretty good. I think I think he has potential floor stretching capabilities way down the road. And other than that, I mean, he really hasn't even been playing basketball for that long. So with a bunch of years in the league to develop, I think his offensive game could really unlock a lot more than some people might think. But enough about the offense. That's really not what the appeal is with him. It's obviously about the defense. I think that he most definitely is probably going to be one of the best rim protectors in the league one day. Just between his height and wingspan, I mean, it's just, he's so big. Pause. Oh my god, pause. But anyways, yeah, he is a really great fit with this team. There's no doubt about it. And I think when it comes to a pick for the Raptors to be in win now mode, if they're really trying to make a playoff push next season, I think Kamon is probably going to be the best option for them in the whole draft. So, yep. All right, moving on to number 8, and we have the other kind of 1A, 1B center in this draft, and that is going to be Derek Queen. Some people are a lot higher on him, so I don't actually know if he's going to fall this far or if he might get snatched up by a team a little bit higher. But if he is available at number 8, I do think it's who the Raptors should go for. And I mean, just to start, he has a very, very unique set of offensive skills for a center. Maybe unique isn't the best way to describe it, but he has very good footwork, and footwork especially. And in general, he just is able to get to the rim very easily. He's able to move around smaller guys as well as bigger guys. So offensively, while I think he may struggle a little bit in his rookie season, he will find his footing, and I think he will be productive on that side of the floor in the league one day. But beyond that, he does fit pretty well on this Raptors team. He is a little bit small for center, so they may need to play him at power forward at times. But, yeah, I think he fits well next to these other guys. And the team defense, which is pretty strong, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think for the second half of the year, we might have finished top 5 in defense, like post All-Star break or something like that. I'd have to go ahead and double check. Hopefully I'll leave a note up on the screen or something like that. But, yeah, so the team's defense might make up for where he does lack right now. And I mean, obviously through developing, his defensive abilities will improve. But yeah, I think that if he's on the board and Maluach isn't, then he's a very solid pickup for this team. And, yeah. Alrighty, moving on to Rasheer Fleming here at number 9. This is a player that I honestly didn't do a whole lot of research on up until these last few weeks. He wasn't really on my radar until recently, but now that he is, I do really like him a lot, especially for this Raptors team. He is 6'9" with a rumored 7'5" wingspan, which is just crazy. That's just so much length. Pause. Yeah, he has really good shooting numbers on the year, has good shooting form, and he is a really solid defender that adds length to an already really long Raptors team. I think that going into next season, if we were to pick him up, he could really help kind of bring that bench mob identity back that already has been sort of coming back. Our bench team this year was really good. I really liked it, and I think that it's only going to continue to get better. So adding a guy like Rasheer Fleming, who I don't know if he'll ever be a starter caliber player one day. I think he definitely could be, but I don't know if that's what he will be. But even if he does just come off the bench, I think would provide a lot of use to this Raptors team. All right, and wrapping up the list here at number 10, we have Carter Bryant, a player that's been gathering a little bit of buzz in the last few weeks leading up to the lottery. I think that he's really been put on a lot more people's radars. And the general consensus is for him is really based on flashes more than anything else. He really didn't have a huge role on the Arizona team that he played for last season, but in the time that he was on the floor, he showed a lot of promising things, such as his bigger size, his athleticism, and his ability to score the ball and defend. I think that while he is unproven, not unproven, but just doesn't have a whole lot of sample size right now and is going to require a team to take kind of a swing on him. I think that for a swing, it is a little bit safer, and from what we have seen with him, he does show a lot of promise, especially on the defensive side of the floor, but also could be a really solid offensive player. So, yep, if we do somehow hit that 1% 10th pick, which I really fucking hope we don't, yeah, Carter Bryant, you're going to have to do. All right, so that is going to wrap up this video. As always, feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. If you disagree with anything, I'd love to hear your input and have a conversation about it. I make these videos. It's my second video, but I like making these videos because I really enjoy getting to talk to people about basketball. So I enjoy any type of comments, positive or negative. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about, let me know, and I'll try to prove you wrong, but that's going to be it. So thanks.